Danny Bader nearly died, really. And it made him stop and think, to evaluate his life. And he says, you can do this too. And here's the thing, you don't need to wait for a traumatic incident to get you there. Do it now. Bader of Conshohocken is a speaker and the author of A Radical Reverence for Your Life, How I Learned to Live with More Joy and Wonder. Now, of course, I can't say that you nearly died without asking, oh my gosh, what happened? So tell us.
Right. Well, I was almost 29, and a friend and I were electrocuted, about 8,000 volts of electricity. We lowered a metal ladder into an electric line, and it went in my hands and out my feet, socks and boots, and it killed both of us. And I was dead for about 6-7 minutes, according to an eyewitness, and then I came back to life.
Okay, so that was significant, obviously. And you realize some things, right? Maybe it's a little bit of time, but you realize some things.
Oh, yeah. Two main things, really, Amy. I realized that there's a fine line between here and there, and that while we are here, it's really a gift. You know, this life is a gift, and that was kind of why I thought about writing this book.
Talk about the name of this book, Radical Reverence for Your Life. What do you mean precisely by, radical reverence?
Well, I think wake-up calls in life are really important, and I had one with the accident, and then recently I lost 5 really good friends who were between 57 and 63 years of age, and I turned 60, so it really kind of shook me a little bit and said, are you really, do you have this love, do you have this respect for life? And then radical means very different from the usual or the traditional. So I'm challenging people to really have that. I think there's 3 levels of reverence. There's radical, with a lot of passion and purpose. There's regular, where you're kind of going through the motions and it's on automatic pilot. And then there's a reduced reverence for life, where you're just, it's a very kind of dangerous and destructive disconnect from life, and that's where I was. So I just challenge people to stay more towards that radical reverence for life.
And I feel like maybe there's somebody in your life, that you've seen that. They just kind of like glow. They just of have such an excitement. How do you get there? How do you do that?
Yeah, well, I think, I thought about it, but I've come to understand there's 7 principles that can help keep us.
And you have those in the book.
Yeah, I have them in the book there. And they can keep us more towards the higher level of the scale of reverence for life.
So let's go through them. I'm going to go through them really quickly. Be more spirit, live your truth, love your people fiercely, trust you are a resilient human being, embrace the struggle, always work to be better, contemplate your mortality. Oh, I don't really like to do that.
I know.
I really like that part.
So yeah, there's 7. In the book you're going to hear stories of my own life, stories of other people from history that have applied these principles, and they've been around forever. I didn't invent them. I just thought, let me take a look and say, where have I seen people, where have I myself experience more radical reverence for life? So be more spirit, I think, is powerful. Abraham Maslow had that hierarchy of needs, where at the bottom was our basic needs for survival, food, health, and all that. And I think a connection with spirit is the basic need. Because when I died and my heart, brain, and lungs stopped, there was a part of me that didn't. And that was the spirit. And the spirit resides in stillness. So I would say just create more stillness in your life and really sit and think. And that innate, intangible essence can't help but to show up.
You're a speaker also. You have a podcast, isn't that right? Yeah. And then where can we find the book?
The book is all on Amazon. I've got other books as well, and then DannyBader.com is my website. And when you cringed around contemplating your mortality, people go, wait, Danny, you're an inspirational speaker and you want me to think about dying. And I go, well, I don't necessarily need you to pick out your casket today or make your playlist, but just understand that you're not going to be here forever. And when you do, that should be a really empowering, inspiring, and a good mindset for you to engage and focus on who and what you need to in life.
I have to do this really quickly, but I saw something in the book that says, if you're conscious when you take your final breath, will you smile? And that's a good question to ask yourself. So you can go to the website for a lot more information. Thank you.
Amy, thank you very much.
Really good.